What a difference just one day makes. Literally, man. A day earlier, that Orlando Magic game, when that ended, the sky was falling. Dub Nation was freaking out. And just one day later, the Miami Heat fall to the Golden State Warriors. CJ, you were at the scene. Are you ready to talk Warriors in just that wild game last night?
Hey, let's do it, man. And man, Dub Nation's been going through it these last couple of days, man. I remember after Orlando game, seeing the Twitter timeline, then compared to last night's game. I mean, you would have thought the sky was falling on Tuesday night, but and then on Wednesday night, you would have thought the Warriors won the NBA championship or something, man.
Crazy,
Live
man.
extremes, man. Let's dive into it.
Beautiful. This is Locked On Warriors.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You could follow CJ Holmes on Twitter at CJHolmes22. I'm Cyrus Saatsaz. You can follow me on Twitter at DogSurf Roadshow. And you can follow this program on Twitter at Locked On Dubs. CJ, you were part of that wild scene last night. When I say wild, you had 4 players scoring 20 or more points. Andrew Wiggins finally woke up from the dead. Jordan Poole's doing his thing, man. The Poole part is raging. But I say wild because of that whole altercation with Spoelstra. Can we start with that, dude? That surprised me. I missed that somehow on the broadcast. I don't see Spo that pissed off. You played college hoops. You've been much more in the middle of the action than I've ever been. Can you recap that if you saw it and just the game in general, man? Floor is yours.
Yeah, like what did Jimmy Butler or Spo try to call it? It was in the heat of passion or something like that. But this is the way I saw it. The Warriors have been playing so poorly lately. It's actually losing to them is actually seen as a tough loss. So for them to get under Miami's skin like that was actually hilarious to see. I'm just like under normal circumstances, you lose to Warriors. All right, they're the Warriors, but I mean, from their perspective, it's like, man, these are the Warriors. They don't have Steph. They don't have Clay. They don't have Draymond right now. We're losing. Like it was that kind of mood. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But hey, it just goes to show you that the team, I don't know. They were pests last night. They were annoying pests to the top seed in the East.
That's crazy, dude. The fact that they are the top seed in the East, and was it like, like to me, like Udonis Haslem, I still can't believe he's still playing. Like that's wild to me. And when I saw him, dude, I mean, you could read his lips. Like I think he kept telling Jimmy Butler, "I'm going to kick your ass," if I'm not mistaken. Like you saw, you could read it, you could hear it from people's cell phone cameras nearby. Like, do you think was that Spo and Haslam pissed off at Jimmy Butler for lack of effort? Is that what you think it was? Because that's the only thing I can interpret. And I've never seen Jimmy Butler really be passive in a situation like that. Like you didn't really see Butler barking back, and that makes me wonder. Like, okay, Butler maybe realized that it was on him. Like, is that kind of how you saw it too?
Oh, well, I don't necessarily think it was passive. It sounds like Butler was the reason why it kind of started boiling over the top. I don't remember what exactly was said to him. What Spo said to him in the huddle, but then I think what I read was Jimmy told Spo and Haslam, you guys are only relevant because of Dwayne Wade or something along those lines. And that's what kind of like sent it like to the next level of like, okay,
yes.
like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a shot, man. No, that's
but yeah,
a
shot.
I mean,
although it seems like Jimmy Butler has been involved in more situations like this than compared to others over the years. I mean, it's just something that happens in the heat of the game. At the end of the day, they're the number 1 seed in the East.
mm-hmm.
Some people think they can win an NBA championship. So, I'm sure they'll get over it. It'll all be water on the bridge. And, all things considered, I'm sure Jimmy has said some worse things in that practice gym than what he said last night on the floor. So
100%. Dude, Andrew Wiggins has been struggling for a while, man. And this has become a really huge point of discussion among Dub Nation, among media types like you and I. I guess my question to you is, and again, I really respect your opinion, especially given you played at the college level. I had someone tell me after your last appearance, by the way, that your handles or your speed, or there's some aspect of your game that just really stood out. And I need to start looking at your highlight clips. And I promise for your next appearance, I'm gonna do so. Dude, they were hyping you up strong, man.
I don't know who that was, but you're not gonna see much. You look at my I don't know.
No, I want to see it,
whoever
man.
that is, man. Shout out to whoever that is. I appreciate you, man.
No, you got love, dude. And so, but in your opinion, dude, as an astute observer, now you've been covering this team for approximately a month or so with the San Francisco Chronicle as a beat writer. What's going on with Wiggins? Like, in your opinion, why has he been struggling so much? And what happened last night that kind of woke him up and got him reinvigorated?
Well, I think maybe the media has a lot to do with it, and guys handle pressure in different ways. As a former player, you know, what you tell the media is, oh, we're going to block out the noise. We're not worried about what's going on outside these locker rooms. But the truth is, in the age of social media, Instagram, Twitter, that's simply not the case. You're going to see what's written about you. You're going to see what's said about you. And, I'm not in Andrew Wiggins' head, but if I had to guess, I would think that some of that pressure kind of started getting to him a little bit. Like, he kind of started struggling a little bit, out of the All-Star break. And from there, it kind of just snowballed. Because if you just look at it, way he's shooting the ball, the level of confidence or lack thereof, you could tell he's kind of in his head a little bit. Like, I don't even want to say he's pressing, but it just seems like he's a little in his head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't address that and nip it in the bud early, it's going to snowball. And that's kind of what we've seen from Andrew Wiggins after the All-Star break. But like he showed in that second half, when he's confident in himself, when he's locked in, he's still a hell of a player. You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah.
But I would say in that first half of the game, I mean, the dude just looked out of it. I mean, I remember, he was getting the ball. He was trying to handle on the perimeter, getting the ball tapped away from him. Just careless turnovers that. And he's kind of just jogging back. It's just the body language. It was the body language of Andrew that was like really apparent. But I don't know what was said to him in the locker room at halftime, or what kind of switch flipped. But I think he came out of the locker room and scored like eight quick points just like that, and he was really big down the stretch. So for Andrew's sake, I hope that this is the kind of performance that will help the guy, refine his confidence, refine his rhythm. He really needed a game like that,
Yeah, he did. He did.
And I think at the end of the night, his efficiency was, pretty solid, way better compared to what he did in Orlando the other night. I mean, that was rough. That was really rough, man. That was really rough. So great game from Wiggins last night. It's a positive step in the right direction. Hopefully, it's the performance he needs to get back on track.
You're absolutely right, dude. I'm looking at his stats right now. He had, for especially by his standards, by anyone's standards, he went 8 for 16 from the field, a solid 50%, 3 for 7 from three. You got to love it when Wiggins is feeling it with his shot. You can just see it. And you're right. It's just mental, dude. It's just such a shame that I feel like he gets in his head a lot. And even from the free throw line, he was a perfect 3 from 3. I remember at the end of the game, he was even hitting some shots. Yeah, it's absolutely needed. You're right, dude. There's some people, and I don't agree with this, man. Some people are saying that Klay Thompson's return played a part in Wiggins struggling. I don't buy that for a second. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it isn't like Klay Thompson is a monster and came back from injury and stole his talent or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But like,
yes.
I mean, like, but then again, when a guy like Thompson comes back into the lineup, I mean, it sends ripple effects up and down the roster. I mean, Kerr kind of alluded to that a couple of games ago. He just said, when there's so many moving parts, in the lineup, it just sends ripple effects. When a guy like Klay's out, it's going to send a ripple effect. When a guy like Curry's out, it's going to send a ripple effect. Some guys are going to be put into roles where they can be featured more prominently, like a Jordan Poole. And other guys, might have to be on the back burner a bit or focus more on other things. Maybe focus more on the other side of the ball. Playing without Klay in the first half of the season, Andrew was asked to be the alpha. You know what I'm saying? And I guess what made him so good and what made him all-star was, the fact that, I don't want to say, like, he didn't have to, like, look over his shoulder, but, like, now, you know, with Thompson back, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Interesting. So no,
But
I hear what you're saying, man. You're
you
saying
know
like
what I'm
there's a new
saying?
dynamic. There's a new
It's a new
dynamic. It's a new
dynamic. Yeah.
variable. I'm with you. No, I'm with you. I guess like because two things happened that coincided with Wiggins' struggles. One was Clay coming back, but at the exact same time, literally, Draymond Green got hurt, and I was attributing it more to Draymond's absence just because of how much of a facilitator he is on offense. He oftentimes finds Wiggins for
Yeah.
those perfect offensive opportunities for him.
Yeah, you put Wiggins
But
in a better situations to succeed rather than Wiggins having to go get it on his own. What made
exactly.
Wiggins so good in the first half of the season was he was efficient with his opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like he was being spoon-fed buckets. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
especially with a guy like Draymond out there. But take Draymond out, Wiggins has to go a little bit more one-on-one, create his own shot. There's gonna be a little dip in efficiency there probably.
I'm with you, man. And when we come back in just a moment, we're gonna talk more about this Warriors roster and I'd love to get your insights on the postseason. And again, the fact that you played was always huge. I'm 5'10", dude. If I beg to the gods, whatever your god is in this world, for those 2-3 extra inches so I could actually play real ball. But the 5'10" thing screwed me. But I still played like as far as I can into my 30s. And that experience is a huge difference. I could always tell when I talk to people like media types who have never played. Like there's little nuances you could hear from them that indicate, okay, you've never stepped on the court, man. All you've done your whole life is just watch this thing on TV or in the stands. I love speaking with people who have played because there is so much little fine detail to the game that a lot of casual observers miss, right? And that's why I'm really stoked that you're coming on with me today. But first, man, I got to save some people money with Truebill. I don't know about you, CJ. Like I finally downloaded Truebill and used their app. And I realized I was wasting a ton of money on Netflix subscription. I had 2 Netflix subscriptions. I did not realize that. I was subscribed. It was crazy, man. I had this Amazon thing that I was paying month after month. And so, folks, if you want to save money, this is a great way to do it. Free trials. You get suckered into those all the time. It's a business scam to get money out of you. Don't let greedy corporations pocket your money. Download Truebill to take control of your subscriptions. It's a new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions you don't need, want, or simply forget about. On average, people save up to $720 a year with Truebill. I'm saving over $1,000 just from downloading this thing. Because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel, Truebill makes it incredibly simple. Just link your accounts, and Truebill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. Don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/lockedonnba. Go right now, truebill.com/lockedonnba. It could save you thousands a year. And today's show is also brought to you by NBA Top Shot. Dude, CJ, I got to ask you this, man. I'm guessing you're much younger than me. I grew up loving baseball cards, basketball cards. I was a collector aficionado. But now NFTs are the rage. Are you into this, dude? What are your thoughts on the whole NFT thing?
I actually had no idea what an NFT is until my Twitter got hacked shortly before I got this job. The dude
Oh,
like wiped all my tweets, changed myself, put like one of those NFT apes in my profile pic, basically I got like 8,000 NFT followers because of that. Because the dude was like putting out like fake like sweepstakes and stuff. So,
wow.
actually, it's like more than 50% of my following are NFT fanatics. So, maybe they
Yo,
can,
thanks. Yo, thanks.
maybe, yeah, maybe they can, give me a little bit more insight. So, I did like do some research on my own. I guess it's like basically it's just like what online art that you can like
Yeah,
that has like a special code in it or
it's
something, and
absolutely.
it
It's
gives it
blockchain coding.
value. Yeah, it gives it
Absolutely.
value, I guess.
Well, the
But
value
why
from
though? But like
blockchain, yeah.
but like why though? Like I feel like the things that are valuable are only the things we give value to, like currency or like anything, you know what I'm saying? But like why this? That's what I don't get. Like why?
That's a great point. You brought up the currency thing. It's very
Yeah.
similar to like Bitcoin, right? There's a blockchain coding attached to each NFT image, so you know that image is just yours, and it's not just something people copy and paste. And the whole trading game when it comes to baseball cards, basketball cards, so forth, has really evolutionized this NFT thing. And NBA Top Shot is leading this whole movement. NFT Top Shot's the official licensed NFT of the NBA. I'm going to buy you a pack because they've totally made things easier for me to sell this by giving me a pack. Dude, feels like opening an actual old school pack of trading cards. You're right. It's not a tangible product, so it makes it a little harder to appreciate and comprehend. But the moment I owned it, I was like, damn, I'm in. I'm hooked. Congratulations. You got this media schlub here, totally buying into your product because you simply gave it to me for free. But if you go to their website, it's cheap. Michael Jordan, Kevin Durant, Will Smith, they've invested in NBA Top Shot. It's the future of what being an NBA fan looks like. It's part trading cards. It's kind of like the stock market where the value goes up and down, just like trading cards, man. In the old days when I buy those Beckett trading magazines, very similar thing. Fantasy sports has a role in this. And they even have like an airline loyalty program, only it's for the NBA when it comes to NBA Top Shot. And people ask all the time, right? Like, why would I buy a highlight? You just mentioned this a moment ago when I can watch on YouTube for free. But it's not just about watching the highlight. It's about having ownership stake in what's akin to a stock market for the NBA's greatest highlights. So NBA Top Shot, it's the future of being an NBA fan. Own officially licensed rare NFTs of the greatest moments from NBA history. Sign up today, including probably Charles Barkley's Auburn Tigers, which you're an alumni of as well. Simply go to lockedon.nbatopshot.com. Again, that's lockedon.nbatopshot.com.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Warriors your first listen. And thanks, CJ, for helping with that read. That was the first time I did NBA Top Shot. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Now podcast. Nightly recaps of every NBA game with analysis from our local experts is free and available wherever you get podcasts. He's CJ Holmes, San Francisco Chronicle beat writer for the Golden State Warriors. You're killing it with that job so far, by the way. I'm reading your content. Here's one thing I really love about what you're doing. Your timeliness in your stories. Like, you're pumping out great content like moments after a game ends. And it's high quality stuff, dude. Early congrats. I know you're just starting your whole career doing this in terms of the beat writing thing with the Warriors. I'm stoked on you. I'm so glad you made it today, by the way. I know you're scrambling with your travel schedule. You're bouncing. Is this the most traveling? I know you played college ball, so that alone entails a lot of travel. But is this the most you've done, given you're jumping over the entire country like left and right?
Oh yeah, we never play back-to-backs in college, so it's like maybe like 2 games a week, but never back-to-backs, man. But it's been fun, man. It's been a lot, but it's been fun, man. I'm just just doing the best I can, rolling with the punches, and like I said, my only goal is to make sure the Golden State Warriors fan base gets the best coverage I'm capable of. And if my coverage is trash, guys, just throwing that out there. Let me know, man. I'm always looking for ways to improve. Things that I'm missing, things I should maybe key in on a little bit more. I'm an open book, man.
No, that's awesome. And I say so far so good. My the joke I keep running with Connor Letourneau, your predecessor, is when is he going to move on to bigger and better things? Is it a year? Is it a 2 years? Like, when we're going to start seeing you on NBA TV or The Ringer or wherever you move on to? I see huge things for you, brother. Like, it's just a matter of time, in my opinion. But for now, you're covering the Warriors. That's your job, and you're doing a fantastic job at it so far. What's your overall prognosis, man? The moment Stephen Curry went down, I started calling this the Warriors' remainder of the season. There were 12 games remaining when Steph went out. I started calling it the regular season preseason. And what I mean by that is, like, if they still end up achieving a solid playoff seeding, great. But I don't think that's the focus of this team anymore. In my humble opinion, I really think it comes down to Draymond's conditioning, because he is not ready to go yet. He has not looked himself. Mm-hmm. Again, just from my observation skills, Klay Thompson still is not 100%. He's still lacking the consistency. And clearly, like, him committing those fouls at the end of games on 3-point shooters is a sign of rust and a sign of lack of rhythm and timing. So it's a matter of getting players like them conditioned. And it's also a matter of players like Jonathan Kuminga, who had a fantastic game last night, despite fouling out, 22 points, 5 rebounds. It's players like Jordan Poole, who's now had 10 straight games of 20 or more points, the second youngest player in Warriors history to do so, beside my buddy Rick Barry. And then guys like Andrew Wiggins figuring things out again. What is your thought about these remaining now 9 games? And in your opinion, as someone who I feel like is much more impartial of an observer than me, who loves these Warriors, how are you feeling about the postseason, man?
Well, I'm gonna be real, man. I don't think that Steve Kerr is necessarily putting a lot of stock in these last 9, 10 games. I think that he's kind of putting all of his chips in the basket of let's get everyone healthy, and let's get Andre back in the mix. In the next couple weeks, let's get everyone healthy. Like, we're going to the playoffs no matter what. We're not going to lose every single game from here on out. Like, our seeding range is pretty much set, but I don't think they're worried about seeding, man. I think what the Warriors are focused on is getting healthy, and
Mhm.
once they're healthy, leaning on that championship experience and pedigree to try to get on a run. I think that is what they're focused on right now. They are focused on getting healthy. I don't think they care at all about who they play in the playoffs, whether it's at home or on the road, what round. I think that they believe that at full strength, they can win a championship this season. But the important thing over these next 9, 10 games is to make sure that they are healthy heading into the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it's crazy just how easily winning solves nearly every problem you have, right? Because again, Dub
Mhm.
Nation felt like the sky was falling after that Magic game. And look, the Magic are underrated defensively. They actually have a decent defensive team, but they still shouldn't have lost that game. But again, you beat the Miami Heat with a shorthanded team, and all of a sudden everyone's happy again. And that's how momentum works, right? It's just simple confidence. It's just a
Dog,
simple
this
feel
fan
good.
base, this fan base right now, it's just,
What do you think
geez,
about the
man.
fan? What do you think about them, man? Like, I mean, yeah. What are
Mhm.
your thoughts, please?
Oh, I mean, no, Warriors fans are great, man. They're super into their team, obviously, and I think that's really cool. It's just like and it's just just like any other fan base. There's the optimists, there's the pessimists, and there's the people who are like even keeled.
Oh.
Um, but no, Warriors fans are great, man.
No, they are, dude. And what I try to tell people is because there's a lot of criticism of all the bandwagon jumpers from, when the Stephen Curry era started, especially 2013 and beyond. For someone like me who's been following the team since the mid 80s, dude, there was nothing but downfall. It was just downtrodden. It was miserable. It was depressing. But despite that, despite the fact that the Warriors and the Clippers really the butt of jokes in this league for like 30 years almost, that arena Oracle sold out night after night, man. This fan base is knowledgeable about their team. They love their team. Obviously, the size of it quadrupled, but whatever the number is since the dynasty started. But they know their team. They love their team, man. And I think they're super stoked you're covering it so far. We're gonna wrap things up in just a second. I got to talk about a longtime sponsor though, BetOnline.net. It's that time of year again as college basketball's tournament is finally upon us. Are you following March Madness, dude? Are you into it?
Uh, of course. But
Of course.
my Tigers
Yeah.
got booted by Miami. I'm actually heading down to campus right after we get we hop off the pod.
Yeah.
I have to go assess the damage. Make sure Neville Arena is still in one piece. But
Ah!
yeah, big March Madness fan. That Villanova Michigan matchup tonight is gonna be, or I think that's tonight. That's gonna be great. Um, I got Arizona winning it all. Long story short, I got Arizona Wildcats winning it all.
Well, Arizona's got that kid that looks really good, man. That's going to enter the draft next year. What did you play in the tournament? I'm sorry for not doing my research on that. Like, do you have March Madness experience yourself?
We don't gotta talk about that.
Fair enough, man. Well, it was Auburn was weird. It had a weird little dip for a long time there, dude. Like with
Yeah,
basketball,
we
that always
weren't we
shocked
weren't
me.
very we weren't very good. Actually, whoever listening to this pod, I want you to go look at the numbers. I want someone to see if technically percentage wise, I am the all-time losingest player in Auburn history.
Oh no!
It might be true, man. I like it was a rough little 3 year stretch for me, man.
What are you gonna do?
I'd be interested to see. I'd be interested to see if someone could like look up those numbers and tell me if it's true because I've been wondering
What
that
are you
for
gonna do?
years.
I gotta ask you this, CJ, because
Yeah.
dude, to me, man, I envy college and professional athletes just for all the
Mhm.
cachet you have with you. Like, did the losing affect your status socially on campus?
Nah.
Beautiful, dude. That's there you go, man. The envy continues. And with Bet Online, you could bet on Auburn, you could bet on the Warriors, you name it. March Madness is in the house from all the latest odds, contests, and player props. BetOnline.net is the number one source for all your sports betting needs and information. It remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. All you got to do is just go to Bet Online. BetOnline.net to get the odds at least, and also BetOnline to bet. It's where the game starts.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Warriors your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. CJ, we're wrapping things up. I know you're in your car. You just landed from the straight out of the airport, and you just mentioned you're going to Auburn in just a second here. The Warriors play the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow, who themselves have been – I don't get that team at all, dude. I mean, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals just a year ago, and now they're like going to be a play-in team probably. What do you forecast for that game, dude? And I guess – what could be the realistic expectations for Dub Nation? Like, because I'm telling them, like, just don't expect anything. Like, until the playoffs start, don't expect anything, dude. Like, every game's going to be different. They might lose a lot of them. What are you expecting for this Atlanta game and beyond?
It's definitely a winnable game for Golden State. The thing I'm looking forward to the most is Jordan Poole versus Trae Young. You know, with how well Jordan Poole's been playing, you know, some people are starting to think that, you know, the kid has some potential to be an all-star one day. You know, you know, he has a great chance to prove it tomorrow if he can go toe-to-toe with Trae Young and somehow come out of State Farm Arena for win. That's what I'm going to have, you know, that's circled on like kind of my mental pregame notes, man. That should be an entertaining battle.
Absolutely. As a journalist and you're a former athlete, what's your approach with a player like Jordan Poole, who clearly has some trust issues with the media? And a lot of that, I think, stems from his first 2 years where he got criticized left and right, man. And I can't claim innocence on that. I mean, I wasn't hosting this show at the time, but I mean, it's a podcaster's job to you know, spew opinions at times. And I think a lot of those opinions when it came to Jordan Poole were not positive. And I think Poole's kind of like put a chip on his shoulder from that. How do you approach a player like Jordan Poole who doesn't really like talking to you?
I found it hilarious personally. But just being honest, but like,
Yeah.
you know, Jordan's not a big fan of the scrums, and I get that. You know, not every guy likes talking to the BM at school, and as long as they fulfill their contractual duties to do so, I mean, whatever. But I've gotten Jordan one-on-one before, and he's a great dude, and you know, very kind. You know, very lively, very energetic, and who knows? There might be a feature on him coming out in the next couple weeks.
A little wink, wink there. I like that, man. I
Oh,
like that.
nudge, wink, wink.
I guarantee he respects you more than most others, dude. I mean, like that playing experience can take you a long way. Yeah, dude. I think so. Oh, that's exciting, dude. All right, thank you for that little drop there. I mean, nothing's official, but for everyone watching and listening, I think you can get the gist. And I'll let you go with this. As now a media member, and I'm sure that transition was weird for you, man. It probably is for anyone who's an athlete, and then all of a sudden they're like reporting news, and you're on the flip side of things. But Bob Myers did a radio appearance yesterday, and he's been getting a lot of criticism, even though I think Joe Lacob's the one that should be getting most of it for this roster construction, just given financial incentive seems to be a driving force for a lot of these calls. What is your experience with Bob Myers, man? Do you communicate with him? Does he answer questions? And what is your personal opinion on this roster as a whole? I think it's way too small, and they should have taken more action, but it's a two-parter to wrap things up. Like, what are your interactions with Bob Myers, and what do you think about this roster?
I have not interacted with Bob as much as I would like to through 1 month on the beat, but you know, I hope for that to change in the future, and you know, have more conversation with him going forward. And as far as the roster construction, I mean, it's easy to complain when the team is struggling a little bit, but the Warriors were absolutely rolling at the beginning of the season, and I don't blame him for not wanting to make a move. I think Bob is in the same mindset of Steve Kerr. When this team is healthy, they're a hell of a group to deal with. You know,
Fair
there's
enough.
no need to make a move. The biggest thing the Warriors need to do is get healthy. When they do that, they should be just fine. You know,
There you go.
small. You know, despite not having a healthy 7-footer in James Wiseman, and I think Belly's like the tallest player, 6'9", or
Yeah,
something like that. Kaminga,
with
Belly.
shoes on, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, with shoes on, something like that, man.
Yeah.
The Warriors were a force, man. Once they get healthy, man, I mean, they'll be fine. I think that's the mindset of both, you know, of both parties.
Well, you just made Dub Nation super happy with those comments, and I agree, dude. In this entire run, I know the roster is a very different from what it was in like 2014 and now, but I've never seen this Warriors team lose when it matters if they're fully healthy, ever. And that's the attitude I have. That's what keeps me going in terms of their hopes for the postseason. CJ, you rule, dude. I know you're scrambling. You're insanely busy. Go have fun at Auburn. Go have fun with your family and friends out there. And we'll read your coverage for Friday's Atlanta Hawks game. Dude, you rule, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on today. I know you're a very busy individual. You can follow CJ Holmes on Twitter at CJHolmes22. Anything you'd like to promote besides your San Francisco Chronicle coverage? Are there any other media ventures you're involved in or anything you want to plug?
Hey, just follow me on Twitter at CJHolmes22. I gotta get this interaction up. You know, I need retweets, not likes, y'all. I need retweets, not likes.
Dude, I'm so glad you said that. I'm like, dude, enough of this like BS, dude. What are you doing? But retweet me. Come on, man. Come on, man. I love that, dude. That is solid. And you can follow this show on Twitter at Locked On Dubs. Follow me, Cyrus Saatsaz, on Twitter at DogSurfRoadshow. CJ, thank you, my man. This was a pleasure, and I hope to do this again soon with you.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.